You like Oreo?
I love REO.
America,
They're coming.
baby.
They're coming to Rockford, aren't they? Nice shades. I like them.
You like those? You like those?
Let
All
me know
right.
when
Welcome
REO's
in.
back in town.
I think they're going to be. We got to get tickets. Welcome into Let's Talk More Action Live. That's where we can be seen. We are that would be Brad Shoulders and Trevor Lukey, your hosts. We are a sports betting site, also a fantasy podcast. We're a lot of things. We don't just talk sports. We will talk about everything and anything. And we are coming up on the holidays, so we're getting close to Christmas time. So I figured I'd start the show off really briefly. We usually do about a 30-minute podcast. It's about what this goes for Brad and I. We try not to keep you too long, but we're going to give you some betting angles heading into the weekend. I got a dud of a game that's San Francisco 6, LA 6. I don't need to see that, but I'm going to start the podcast off, Brad, as we near the Christmas holiday of maybe possibly what your favorite Christmas tradition is.
Favorite Christmas tradition, boy. I'll tell you the Christmas tradition that I'm done with, that I'm so very happy, and that's coming back from the in-laws on Christmas Eve and staying up all night long putting my kids' toys together so that they're under the tree from Santa at 5 a.m. That's the
Uh-huh.
tradition I'm so happy is behind me now.
Okay. Okay. That
That's
can
what
be
I
a good
got.
tradition.
That's a
That's
great
fine with me.
tradition.
I'm still suffering through that, and it's a pain in the ass, and we all know that.
We get
Let's,
we get home at we get home at 10:30, 11 after partying at the in-laws, and I'm putting toys together drunker than a skunk, and
mm-hmm.
it's over for me now. So that's my tradition.
Right, three sheets to the wind, and you're like, Jesus, man, I need some help down here. But you realize you don't have any help because you're putting together your kids' gifts, and they are the help. So,
They are to
uh,
help. The elves are sleeping then.
so what we're going to do is actually try to help you win some money this weekend. So, again, Let's Talk More Action Live is where we can be seen. And we are kind of in the infancy of this sports betting podcast. Tonight, this game, we're
Sucks.
going.
This game
Oh,
sucks. Oh,
whoa, whoa! We'll even show you
hookah.
live. We'll even show you live look-ins at the game when they're a big play. But I did
That
think the
was
Rams would
nice.
cover this line at 3 points today when it went off. What was your thoughts on this game? It's a big one. Both teams had to win.
Well, if I could press the rewind button, I'd have took the under for sure. No,
It started. It was somewhere in the late high 40s, and then it kind of started dropping when the weather was getting worse, and people were hearing there could be some really bad rainstorms in the first half. And so
I
that's
mean
kind of where
these two, they'd have to play 6 more quarters to get to 40 at this point.
they may have to even play longer than that. Oh, that's not the guy I need. So here's what's happening today during this podcast. The reason we have this game on behind you is Brad's in the fantasy. We're all in the same fantasy football league by at least both of us. Both of us made the playoffs. Okay. He has a first round game. I have a first round game. Your first round game, though, the guy you're playing has what? I mean, he's got 3 49ers. He's got Purdy. He has Debo, but he put him on the bench. So good call
Yeah,
there.
he's got
He has
Kittle and Jennings.
and
He's
Jennings.
got Kittle. He's got Kittle, Jennings, and I think he started Pelosi at kicker.
Yeah, she's on San Francisco. She's probably crying in her wine right now, going, "This can't get any worse." Because if they lose, they're pretty much out. But here's the thing:
Yeah,
is for you, that's a good thing. So like when we look at our fantasy league, and the funny thing is, I'm playing your son, and he's got, or no, I'm not playing your son this round. I would be playing him in the next round. But the team that I'm playing, the guy that I'm playing is Kyron Williams, and I have Cooper Kupp, and we're in the fourth quarter, and Kupp has no catches at all. Who would have thought
which is
that?
shocking. That's shocking.
I mean, how do you not start him? I mean, I have Davante Adams, but I'm not gonna start Davante Adams, and I don't know what Rodgers is gonna do or the whole Jets franchise is gonna do right now. They could fire the coach at halftime for all I
Right.
care. And I'm thinking to myself, I gotta trust Cooper Kupp, so I need a touchdown like
You
right
might
now.
get one. You might get one. You get one of them scratch TDs right here.
I'm starting to get stressed out because I can't take a goose egg from Kupp right now. So, anyways, good luck to you, but you're in a good position. You gotta feel good right now.
I do. As long as it stays right where it's at. He's got 17.6 points, and they're midway through the fourth quarter there. So I'm liking where I'm at.
Okay. So our fantasy teams have been pretty good. We didn't get the first round buys, but Brad did when we give a overall point total for the most points accrued throughout the season for the 14 weeks of the regular season. We give you whoever gets the most points in our league gets a nice little cut. Okay, you get $200 for doing that, and he won the overall point total. Okay, so he obviously knows what he's doing. He's got a good fantasy team. These field goal kickers are on. Looks like now it's 9-6. So if you were doing a DraftKings or FanDuel lineup and you took field goal kickers tonight, congratulations.
You're
Total
winning. You're
so
winning.
next topic that we're going to get into besides fantasy is as we get into the playoffs, you got to be starting your big boys, but you have decisions you have to make. And like tonight, that was a big decision for me, Cup or Adams. But how do you sit Cup? You can't. Like I just feel like that's an automatic start.
I mean, Cup's capable of double-digit catches on any given game day, so I would play him too. Sometimes you think you got all the right moves and they don't work out, man. That's fantasy sports for you. It is what it is, man. I've been there.
Right. Yeah. So good luck to all you in the fantasy football playoffs. Now we're going to talk about the eliminator pools. I don't even know who's left in these things. I mean, you lost like what, like 80% of the people, like in Vegas. Um, in the big Vegas with the Circa Millionaire, the Circa Millie Maker. I think like 70% of the people in the first 3 weeks were out. So I'm left in one, but I'm in the losers pool. I'm in a whole different pool this time. I got eliminated from the winners pool. But there's like 50 of us left, and you actually pick losers in this pool, okay? And I've set myself up pretty good. And I feel like today, like this weekend, there's only one team, okay? So this was kind of the stats as I go here. I'm going to take a look at some of the notes that I made. But what I thought was interesting was this. So you only have one double-digit spread this weekend. So I'm like, if I have the team left who's the dog, I got to take them, and that's the New York Giants. They're terrible. They're starting Tommy Cutlets, for God's sakes, as a 16-point dog. I have the Giants available to me, so I'm going to take the Giants. So what I thought was interesting, though, of 8 of the 16 games that are going to take place this weekend, there is a team playing in 8 of the 16 games that has no chance of making the damn playoffs. So these games are almost, I mean, this is not what the NFL wants. I mean, some of these games this weekend are not very appetizing.
No, some of these teams have fallen off the cliff with 3-4 weeks still to go, and they've just fallen dead. They're DOA, man. It's they need more flexibility on how they can flex these games too around so they're not nationally televised.
So they
I
did
don't
get
know.
into that. NFL is going to finally do that this season. They're going to do a little bit of flexibility in terms of the game they're going to play. But 9 of the teams that are going to play this weekend have less than 4 freaking wins, and the only team
I
with
see
the
it.
4 wins is the Bears. And the Bears were, by a lot of people's standards, thought to be a really good football team coming into the season, right? Well,
Right. I mean, they'll
not
still
so
get
much.
the they'll still get the viewership though because of Caleb Williams. He's a hot name. But imagine watching the frickin' Jaguar Jet game. Jaguars don't even have their starting QB, and Aaron Rodgers looks like he's 57 years old. I
Well,
mean,
there's
who's
talk
watching?
about bench Brees Hall or him possibly, either if it's not this weekend, next weekend. They're just going to sit him down, and I have him on my fantasy team. I mean, these are the decisions you guys got to make. You got to be paying attention to what some of these franchises are playing for and their interest in these games that they're going to be playing in, especially this weekend and next, as you enter into your fantasy football playoffs in the semifinals.
For sure. For sure.
So that only double-digit spread was the Ravens over the Giants. I'm taking the Giants. Is there anything else when you see real quick before I get into the screen? Is there? I'm going to share my screen here in a minute. But is there any other games that you say to yourself, man, as I come up here to share this? Is there any other games that you say to yourself like, man, I think I have interest in that or something like that?
Well, I mean, I've to understand your elimination pool. You're trying to find teams with the worst spreads.
Yeah. No. I mean, you got to lose. You pick the losers. So like I've
Oh, you
taken
got.
the Panthers. Right. So I've
Oh,
taken the Panthers already, the Browns, who you see below you, and the Chiefs never start out hot. But I mean, I'm taking the Giants because not just because they're the biggest spread on the board. Like I always say, that's one of the biggest mistakes when you do these eliminator pools is just finding the biggest spread on the board because look at what the Bengals did in Week 1. They destroyed half of the Eliminator pools out there. They were the largest favorites. Everybody thought they would win, and they lost.
So I get what you're saying. I tell you what, and I've got it
But I mean,
written down here.
is there another game this weekend as you scroll through this? Is there any other games that you see like it's just interesting to me like this Dolphins team seems to be coming on a little bit. I mean, the Bengals, I just don't feel like the Titans are out. The Bengals don't have much to play for. The Commanders have been, overachieving, but the Saints are garbage, and they don't, they're starting a backup quarterback.
Did
It's
you
really
use
weird
Did you use the Vikings already?
to lose, yes. So what I'm saying
All
is
right.
that I'll take the Giants. I'm saying, but for this
Yeah,
weekend, as we
take the
get into
Giants.
like, is there anything else that sits and appeals to you now? Like as we get into these games and we try to give some people some angles, this is tough, guys. Like I'm gonna, as a responsible bettor, and Brad will tell you this, he's been in the industry a long time. What we're going to try to teach you is money management. Some of these games, you have got to really look and evaluate the whole situation of who's playing for what before you decide to put any of your cheddar down.
I got a game I like. I got a couple games here, and
All
I'll
right, so let's
start with
go
the.
inside what you're thinking.
I like the Browns getting 4 at home. This is their
Okay.
Super Bowl. It's their Super Bowl. They're 3-10. The Chiefs are coming in 12-1. I think the Chiefs are. They look kind of fraudulent to me. I'm not saying that the Chiefs can't win the game, but it might be a field goal game, and the Browns are going to get up for this one, and they're at home. And once Jameis, he might just go off on the Chiefs, and I don't think they've looked that good this year. They should probably have at least 3 losses. They're 12-1, but I don't think anybody believes they're a 12-1 football team. So I like the Browns at home getting 4.
Okay.
I like the Bills getting 2.5
Let me
in
stay on that
Detroit.
game for 1 second. Let me stay on that
Okay,
game for 1 second.
all right.
Before we move, we'll stay on it. So, rumor has it that David Njoku is not going to play. Okay.
I don't even
So
care.
I get you don't care. So, and what I'm trying to say is, if I could get inside this, and I don't know now. See, I don't know why. Here we go. Okay. So let's go inside the play for a minute. So what we're going to try to teach you here is what we want to look at is we want to talk about maybe some receiving props. And the reason I say
Okay.
this is if you like this game and you're thinking to yourself, hey, okay, I like the Browns. Maybe you don't necessarily need to like the Browns at the spread. You can say I like the Browns somewhere inside the play. So what I'm trying to say, I guess, Brad, is what intrigues me is if you're without Njoku, you have to sit there and say to yourself, who else do they have that can really make an impact offensively? And if you look at DraftKings right now, the only Browns player that they're really offering as a wideout is Jerry Jeudy.
Mm-hmm. Who's been on a bit of a heater?
He has been on a bit of a heater. So the question becomes is, knowing that they really don't have a lot of targets to throw to, Nick Chubb hasn't been what he's been. Anything appeal to you in this screen here that our viewers are looking at with the Jerry Jeudy receiving prop, or would you consider maybe some receptions or something else? What are you thinking?
Well, let me see here. I didn't get into it that far. I mean,
Into it, but I figured if we're inside the game, this is a pretty. Here's the thing: is what again? We're trying to teach these our audience is this though is you have to be responsible about what you're going to do. And we took a look through a lot of the things this weekend, and there's not a lot of great games. And it doesn't mean race to the frickin' website, sponsored by DraftKings. FanDuel, we do too as well. Caesar Sportsbook. In Illinois, we have them all. We're broke, bankrupt, corrupt. So we will have all the websites that you can possibly wager on or wager at and bet on here in the state. So, geez, now he's picked off. Okay, this game's getting worse by the minute. For you, that's good. Purdy threw an interception.
I'll take it. I'll
And
have it.
you are running hot tonight. Welcome to the semifinals. Actually, you're going to play your kid, not me. You play your kid. That's
Well,
right.
that would be an epic championship game, wouldn't it? If I got to play my kid in the title,
I think you have to have you guys to the house to watch this game. But here's what I'm
that'd
saying:
be fun.
if Njoku's out, I know Judy's been on a heater, but I'm going to stay here. I like the plus. I like the even money at 70 over. I think that's a decent bet. And what also I think is too is if I come down here, you know who else has been kind of sneaky, weirdly good has been Noah Gray. he has emerged as one of Mahomes' targets over the middle, and he's been getting fed the ball a little bit more. And at 40 yards plus 180, that's some good money to make on a 40-yarder. And he catches like 10, 12-yard passes. He just needs 3 receptions. I think he can cover that and get plus 180.
Yeah, because Tillman he's questionable with concussion, I think.
Right.
How about Elijah Moore? Is he showing up there?
He's not even showing up. So that's what I mean is he's questionable too. So like this is literally what they're showing you is you have Jerry Jeudy, you have Jerome Ford, and you don't have anybody else listed. And it's telling you that's the only concern I have is heading into this game for the Browns is just their lack of weapons on the offense. And
Well,
so
Tillman's possible for the game. He's in concussion
right,
protocol, but he's missed
right.
weeks 13 and 14. If he comes back, he automatically ignites their offense. So,
Yes, that's if DraftKings decides to offer us a line. But I think
right, no, I get it.
inside the play, how are you feeling though about something here in the Jerry Jeudy area that we would want to play? I like the 70. I plan to play that actually probably 1 unit. So again, we go back a unit. A unit for me is $25. So 1 unit, $25. I would have to risk 25 for 23.50, I believe, is what it was. So
And here's the thing: Judy's going to have to be involved either from the standpoint that he's kicking ass, and so Cleveland's going to win the game, or
yeah,
Cleveland's trailing so bad he's going to pick up a bunch of garbage receptions and yardage. So
agreed.
either way, he's in play.
All right, so we like Jeudy. So what we would say is if you're going to do this, you get on Jeudy. If I go in and I show you, if we're going to go 70, it loads it up. I got to simplify the screen for you. Get off that. So what I'm saying is if I'm going to do a unit, 25 pays me back out 48.80. So I was close to right that it's going to pay you out $23.80 back on that kind of bet. So this is a bet that I will make. This is a bet I will place. Right now we're just in the DraftKings site, just giving you kind of the plays we're going to make throughout the weekend. Who knows? I may play for more.
Check Cleveland's money line since you're in there. What's the
It's
money
not
line on
great.
this?
It's
It's
not good.
not.
Let me see. So if I come to Cleveland's money line, it is only. Sorry, I got to go down here.
And again, for the listeners, the reason I'm liking the Cleveland Browns is because this is a 3-10
Money line
team.
plus 180.
This is their Super Bowl, man. This is all they really got to play for is to try to knock Kansas City off, man.
I
That's
get
it.
it. I'm with you.
And they're
All
at
right,
home.
so he likes the Browns. He likes the Browns at +4. I consider that a valid play. I like the Jerry Jeudy inside it, given the fact that he doesn't really. There's nobody else for Jameis Winston to throw to. You know what else I like, Brad? hang on. Which stay with the game. People are gonna be like, "Why are you sticking with this game for so long?" Follow us here, because as we get going, thoughts start to emerge. That's what this is all about. Jameis Winston has to throw an interception in this game. There is no way this guy he throws interceptions nonstop.
Dude, he gets out of his car at the practice facility. He's already got a pick on his resume.
Yes, he does. So, I mean, you're talking about recording a sack, safety to be recorded, turnovers, field goals made. Let me see here. I don't see it here. Anyway, you know what I'm going to do? I can't even find it, but here's what I'm going to tell you. Whatever the line is, he's at least going to throw 1, if not 2. Here's passing props. Here we go. Passing TDs, passing yards. There it is. Interceptions. Okay, so when you go to find this, like at DraftKings, so Jameis Winston over a half. He's going to throw 1 pick. Here's the problem. Brad and I will tell you we do not like to put up negative money. Because what we're showing you is now I got to bet 2 units. I got to basically bet 2 units to make a unit. So my 50 is going to make me 76.31, which basically gets me almost a unit back. And so I'm putting myself at risk for more. But what do you think about my play here, Brad?
Well, again, I don't like the negative. I would pass on that. I would
Okay.
pass.
You know what
I
I'd
think
pass on?
stick with Judy.
Passing it and throwing an interception. But I
Because I want to move on to another game I got my eye
all right,
on,
give
and
me
there's
another game.
there's all kinds of action in this one.
All right, give me
I
another
like
one. Let's go.
I like the I like the Bills getting points in Detroit. Detroit's been walking on the freaking line, man. They've been, Dan Campbell goes for it on fourth and everywhere, and he's got chip shot field goals, and he still goes for it on fourth down. You screw around with the Bills and Josh Allen doing that shit, he can turn around on you quick, man.
Right.
And I'm not real impressed with Detroit's defense. So if this could be a 38-35 type of game, and Josh
Okay. So
Allen
you're
could light up Detroit's secondary.
okay.
There's all
So
I mean,
you're
there's
looking
all
at
kinds of plays here.
okay. So you're looking at plus 2.5 over 54.5. This is
I mean,
ridiculous.
it's your biggest total of the weekend. We're going to have a lot of points in this game. And
It
Josh
is.
Allen, I'm telling you, I don't like Detroit's defense that much.
Can I tell you something? Can you imagine some jackass in Las Vegas that's had too much to drink that took there will not be a touchdown scored in this game tonight? You know it's out there.
I
Probably
know it.
what? It has to be 200 to 1.
And he can't stand. He's so drunk right now because he's trying to
Probably.
get that game in.
And he's sitting here and I'm thinking, I mean, this is horrible. They're not
It's
going to be a
dog
touchdown.
shit. It's dog shit.
And this guy, and Cooper Kupp still doesn't have a catch. Like,
You
I
got to
might
let
have to
that
start.
go.
I might
You
have to
got to
start
let
drinking.
that go. Your other guys will pick you up. You still got hope.
It's just terrible. All right. So on that note, what are you thinking inside this game? Is there any play you might have inside this game? So you like the Bills on the road in Detroit plus the 2.5.
Yep. I just
Okay.
think it's the Bills are gonna, they're gonna put some points up. This is gonna be a shootout, obviously. That's why it's
Okay.
the biggest point total of the weekend. And I just think this is one team that if Dan Campbell gets crazy and keeps going for it on fourth down and turns it over on downs on his own 40 or something, Josh Allen's a guy that can take advantage of that, man. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Some of these other, the Lions go for it a lot of times against lackluster teams, and they don't get it. They don't get it. Blah blah blah. But Josh Allen might make them pay for being all cocky like that.
Okay. Um, so here's what I'm going to say is I'm a teaser guy. So let's talk about a teaser for 1 second. 2-team teaser. You take a look at, you like the Bills. I like the Steelers. A teaser is you combine two teams. You get a little less odds. They want you to parlay it, but you come into the play. You click both teams. There's a teaser option right here. My little hand's over right there. And you put it, you hit it. It's minus 120, but you get 6 points. So what it's going to change the line to do is all of a sudden, when you get the 6 points, like if you're going to put a unit down, let's say it's a 2-unit play for 50, it'll change the lines when you go to place this wager. It'll change the lines to the Steelers being 11.5 and the Bills at 8.5. Now you're getting touchdown. I mean, you're getting a touchdown in the Bills game, and you're getting a touchdown and a field goal in the Steelers game, and I like that. I think the Steelers can keep it close against the Eagles. They just haven't been overwhelming opponents lately. I do agree with Brad. The 2.5 is a little. I wish it was 3. That would make me feel a little more comfortable. You
You're
can
right.
buy on the point, but to me, 8.5 with the Bills and Josh Allen going on the road, I do like that, and I do agree with you. So that would be another play we would probably go ahead and make. You enter it in down here, and then you would go ahead and hit place the bet. It would give you the points at that moment on the side of the teaser. You can also go ahead if you wanted to and drop it down and change it to like a 6.5-point teaser here. So I believe they show. So here's the line. So this is what they show you down here. So if you're at a 6-point teaser, you're getting 8.5 and 11.5. I do like that. I mean, the Steelers, I just feel like even though they're on the road, they may be without George Pickens. I do feel like you can cover 11.5. They're going to need a big game. I'm going to need a big game from Najee because I have him on my fantasy team. So he better step up and play. All right, we're going to take a look at maybe 2 other plays we're going to go ahead and make. So how about we take, because it's the highest scoring game, let's talk about maybe a same game parlay, Brad, inside this Buffalo Bills Detroit Lions game. You got to be thinking there's going to be some points scored, like you said. What do you think about some maybe receiving props, rushing props, same game
I want
touchdown
to.
parlay?
What's Josh Allen's rushing props?
So his rushing prop is Josh Allen is at. I mean, it's anything, but you're catching. Oh, if you go over 40 yards, it's basically even money. And then if you start to go over 50 yards, it's plus 180. Over 60 is plus 295. But basically, it starts at you got to basically be 40 yards and over at that point. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking he's going to go. I'm thinking he's going over because it's going to be a shootout. He's going to be passing a lot. He's going to drop back. He don't see what he likes. He takes off. That's what he does, man.
So let's do this. We're going to put together we're going to teach the same game parlay. So up here, same game parlay. I show you guys right here. You are going to go ahead inside the same game parlay, which we're already in actually. And so we're going to click that. So you like him to have a rushing over 40 and over 40 yards. So I'm going to go inside the receiving props. So we're going to put together a little same game parlay for our audience. Okay. So St. Brown has not been what I thought he was going to be. I mean, he hasn't been where I'd liked him to be. Where I think you might be able to catch something here, Brad, is Sam Laporta at 40 plus yards. Because like you said, if Josh Allen's doing his thing, Detroit's going to have to throw. How do you feel on my Sam Laporta finally gets involved in the offense play? Did I lose you? I've lost my co-host. But that's okay. Because I'll give you my play. As I've lost my co-host, I'll give you my play that I'm going to, let's see here. All right, so if I go ahead and I put this together and I do 40 over, so here's what I'm going to give you is this, and then I'm just going to give you a quick couple TD scores. So what's going to happen is once you put those two things together, you're going to look in here. David Montgomery's just been, I mean, he crushes it. All right, so that game's going to pretty much be over at this point. So David Montgomery's going to get himself in the end zone, and if I do like it, I like some Khalil Shakir to get himself in the end zone. I mean, I'm loading this one up because if this is the highest scoring game on the board, you want to be able to play some different stuff. So this is, I traditionally, again, this is not going to be a one-unit play. You don't play one unit when you take a look at this because you don't need to play a unit. You're catching 35 to 1 odds. Let me see if I can get in here. Get 35 to 1 odds. So when you're talking, you don't need to play that. So I can play this. If it's my fun play for the day, I can play it for $10 to return 360. And this is going to be a play I will make. It's Montgomery to score, Khalil Shakir, Sam Laporta to get in the end zone. And then you have Laporta on the receiving yards with the touchdown and Josh Allen to rush, as Brad was talking about before he got disconnected. So that's going to be my same game parlay. Again, I come back to you with this weekend is we're doing this podcast again at lesstalkmoreaction.live. Unfortunately, we don't find a lot of action this weekend. There is a lot of bad games. So money management is important. So I'm going to close this segment by saying this is if whatever your one unit is, we have people that follow us on the podcast that a unit might be $5. It could be $10. For me, it's $25 again. It could be $50, $100. We have people that could be larger players that are playing $1,000. But when you play same game parlays, you're not playing for a full unit. You might play for 1/4 or half, a quarter or half of what your normal unit would be. That's just how you would do a same game parlay. You're not doing it for the full amount that you normally would go for. But we don't find a lot of good action in what's going on this weekend. There's going to be a lot of close games. There's a lot of bad teams playing this weekend. The injury reports aren't complete. As we bring this broadcast to you, we'll know more as that comes up later Friday night. If we can post something, we will. But as of right now, these are kind of more or less the plays that we're looking at. Again, the one I go back to that I think is a really solid play is Jameis Winston's tossing a pick. I don't see how the Chiefs don't pick him off. That guy is a turnover machine. So if I had number one, my favorite play of the weekend as I head into it, I would take Jameis Winston for an anytime interception. So we appreciate you joining us. We will continue to bring you as much content as we can at letstalkmoreaction.live. My co-host was Brad Shoulders. I'm Trevor Lutke. And we're just going to keep talking fantasy sports betting throughout the rest of the season, especially as we get into the playoffs. We're looking forward to kind of growing our audience. We haven't done a lot of these, so we hope you enjoyed the first go at this. And we're going to catch you next week, or maybe one more podcast as we get into it later on this weekend. So we will talk to you guys all later. Ciao.